experts worried about impacts of Chinese Red River dams. Chinese Red River dams are causing repeated alluvium shortages, floods as well as droughts in Vietnam, experts say. The situation is set to worsen and Hanoi has to pay due attention, they add. In the last week of February, the Red River section that flows through Lao Cai province in northern Vietnam has become so clear that there are some shallow areas towards the banks where the riverbed can be seen at a depth of 1 meter. This is a highly unusual development because the Red River is known for its reddish or pinkish hue. Dao Zhang, head of the executive board of the Vietnam Rivers Network, said one possible reason for the changes seen in the Red River is rooted in China. A series of hydropower plants and reservoirs operated by China further upstream could have held back alluvium, he said. The Red River, over 1,100 kilometers long, originates in China and flows through 26 localities in northern Vietnam including Lao Cai, Yan Bay, Phu Tho, Vinh Phuc, and Hanoi, with a combined population of more than 26 million. The river section that flows through Vietnam is about 510 kilometers long. Tu said that of Red River's total water volume of 133 billion cubic meters, China contributes 39%, the rest is from Vietnam, 60%, and Laos, 1%. The amount of alluvium that comes in from China is huge, at around 160 to 200 million tons per year. The Red River has 3 tributaries in Vietnam, the Da, Lo and Thao rivers. In upstream parts of these rivers, China has completed several of 52 planned hydropower plants. China's dams are likely holding a large amount of sediment, stopping it from flowing downstream to Vietnam. Consequently, agriculture activities in the Red River Delta are strongly affected, Tu said. The lack of alluvium might have caused the riverbeds to sink lower, preventing water from flowing into farmers' fields. Authorities are, therefore, forced to release around 3 to 5 billion cubic meter of water every year from dams in Ho Ha Binh and Tuien Quang provinces for irrigation. Agreeing with Tu, Nguyen Lan Cho, Deputy Director of Institute of Mechanics and Environment Engineering, under the Vietnam Union of Science and Technology Associations, said China's hydropower plants could be considered a key reason for the drastic reduction in the amount of alluvium in the Red River. Shou said the river water in Lao Cai has been getting clearer after China began operating 2 major power plants on the upstream part of Thao River. The first one is Nanshan, with holding capacity of 300 million cubic meter of water, and the second one is Madushan, which can hold more than 550 million cubic meter. The 2 dams are 140 kilometers and 100 kilometers away from the Vietnamese border. Shou said her studies show that the river's clear color in Lao Cai has been randomly seen in recent years, especially in the dry season. Water flow in the river has also been reduced, she added. She said Beijing has begun operating 12 of 29 dams planned in the upstream area of the Thao River, 11 among 12 on the Da River, and 8 plants on the Lo and Cam rivers. The lower amount of alluvium from the upper Red River makes it hard for Vietnam to cultivate, and increases erosion along rivers and downstream sections, Shou said. Floods and droughts. Tu said China's dams typically cause floods in Vietnam in the rainy season, when Beijing needs to release water to ensure the reservoir's safety. The water flow in this season accounts for 70% of the whole year's flow due to geological and climatic conditions. This creates the situation where Vietnam is constantly bombarded by floods. He also said the risk of dam collapse is a possible disaster that people downstream cannot ignore. Shou said Vietnam has suffered many times from flash floods caused by China. In 2015, there was a flood with an amplitude of 3 meters in Lao Cai. In 2006, the flood amplitude was over 10 meters in a section of the river in Muang Thai district, Lai Shau province. Another flood the same year, which was caused by a broken dam in the upper part of Thao River, surpassed alarm level 2, 82 meters, and left 2 people dead. In 2007, the flood amplitude was over 4 meters in the Nam Na River in Lao Cai's Bat Zat district. In August 2020, authorities in China's Hachuyao County informed their Laokai counterparts that the Matushan Dam would open its floodgates as heavy rains had caused the dam to reach its maximum capacity. They did not provide a specific figure, only saying that water levels in the Red River would be higher, prompting Vietnam's northern localities to take precautions without really knowing what to prepare for. The third problem, ﷺ said, is drought during the dry season, when dam operators store water in their reservoirs. Show's studies have shown that in January and March 2007, the water flowing into the Ho Chi Minh hydropower plant in Vietnam was at the lowest level in a century, at 140 cubic meters and 145 cubic meters per second. Additionally, China's night and day regulation mode made for huge fluctuations of water levels in the Da, Dao, and Low rivers, leading to a higher risk of riverbank erosion. Tu said he was very worried that Vietnam does not have a bilateral mechanism for cooperation with China on the Red River despite Hanoi's attempts to reach one. Tu and his colleagues have visited China to discuss this issue, but things haven't changed. One possible mechanism that should be considered is similar to that of the Mekong River Commission, MRC, where some riparian countries' leaders exchange information and views regularly. Tu said that when China does not provide detailed information, Vietnam could not have good preparation to react in urgent cases. For example, in 2020, China announced when it would release water from its dams, but did not say how much. Vietnam did not know how to measure the impacts on economic and civil activities in order to prepare an adequate response. He said the situation will only worsen in the future if no agreement is reached on joint management of rivers that flow through both countries.